Good afternoon, everyone. I am Kisha Nicole Cubarubia, and together with me are my fellow presenters, Jeric Andre Barsatan, Juan Paulo Alcalde, and Leila Manalansan. In line of our topic, which is the digestive system and nutritional requirements of the human body, we will be featuring a study entitled Effects of a High Protein Ketogenic Diet on Hunger, Appetite, and Weight Loss in Obese Men Feeding Ad Libitum. This study was made by Alexandra Johnston, Graham Horgan, Sandra Morrison, David Bremer, and Gerald Lobley. Think about french fries, ice cream, and pizza. Sounds delicious, right? But what do they have in common? They're all high caloric foods, and they're in every corner we turn to. The more calories you eat above your daily needs, the more weight you gain. So, with the global rise in obesity has come an intensive search for effective weight loss strategies. Dietary composition of macromolecules has often been manipulated to determine their influence on hunger and satiety. High protein weight loss diets have therefore come under scrutiny as a potential tool to aid dieters since they give more satiation compared to other macromolecules, which is vital for dieters to maintain their weight loss regimen. However, studies have only compared high and low protein diets. It was suggested that there's little data on carbohydrate content and ketosis on motivation to eat and ad libitum intake. So, this study has come to shed light on the effects of a high protein ketogenic diet on hunger, appetite, and weight loss in obese men feeding ad libitum.
Initially, 20 men were recruited to participate in this research. However, 3 of them withdrew for personal reasons. Hence, the data presented in the results and discussion included only the 17 men who completed the study. These men are all 20 to 65 years old with a body mass index greater than 30. Inclusion criteria specified that subjects were not consuming any specialized diet and were not on medication. It was also made sure that all participants had normal range results on clinical biochemistry and hematological testing to lessen the possibility of producing invalid results due to the interference of some factors. Proceeding to the methodology section, the energy, fat, carbohydrate, and protein content of each meal was calculated using McCann's and Widowson's decomposition of foods, which provides detailed nutrient information for more than 1,200 of the most popular foods consumed in the United Kingdom. The procedure took 65 days. Subjects followed the mandatory maintenance diet, calculated to meet energy requirements from days 1 to 3, which is the maintenance period. Following this phase, subjects were randomly assigned to one of the two diets, low carbohydrate or medium carbohydrate, and were told to follow ad libitum, which means no restriction or to one's pleasure for 4 weeks from days 4 to 31. After that, the subjects received a fixed maintenance diet again for 3 days that was also designed to meet their energy needs. The following stage was the second ad libitum feeding phase, which was carried out for another 4 weeks from days 35 to 62, but with the subjects receiving the alternate diet. So they will have low carbohydrate if they did medium carbohydrate during the first ad libitum phase, or medium carbohydrate if they went low carbohydrate during the first ad libitum phase. The protocol was then finished with the maintenance phase that lasted 3 days, which was similar to what had been offered during days 1 to 3 and days 32 to 34. During the entire period, after voiding, the subjects were weighed on a digital scale to the nearest 50 grams while only wearing a dressing gown that had previously been weighed.
Their hunger and appetite were also assessed hourly during waking hours using visual analog scales. But instead of the original paper and pen method, this study made use of a handheld electronic computer. The questionnaire included 6 questions related to motivation to eat, all of which used a line scale format. The questions assessed hunger, thirst, preoccupation with thoughts of food, fullness, desire to eat, and the prospective consumption of the subjects. Scales were recorded from not at all hungry to extremely hungry so that higher scores indicated more intense subjective sensations. The abdominal and gluteal or hip circumference was also measured at the beginning and end of each dietary intervention period with accordance to the guidelines of the International Standards for Anthropometric Assessment. The data on energy intake, body weight and composition, blood metabolites, and meal ratings were then analyzed by hierarchical split plot ANOVA at 5% significance. This means that a p-value less than 0.05 was considered statistically significant, in which case the null hypothesis was rejected. Moving on with the results in discussion, the measures of appetite are illustrated in Table 1. Hunger is an uncomfortable or painful physical sensation caused by insufficient consumption of calories to meet minimum physiological needs. So, dieters have often aimed it less to lose weight and yet not to feel hungry. The hierarchical split ANOVA with P equals 0.014 revealed that subjects felt significantly less hungry with the low carbohydrate ketogenic diet than with the medium carbohydrate non ketogenic diet. The present study, the energy density and protein content was held constant. Therefore, the observed decrease in hunger between the diets is due to the difference in carbohydrate or fat intake proportion or both.
Fats have been found to have no satiating effect. However, low carbohydrate intake induces a state of ketosis, reducing appetite. Ketone bodies provide as much as 30 to 50% of metabolic fuel when blood glucose levels are insufficient. Given that the brain is a major regulator of appetite, the supply of an alternative fuel may affect the motivation to eat. This is supported by Bray et al. In 1972, where they found that ketone bodies have an anorexic effect in humans. Also, the study of Arrays et al. 1988 found that 3-OHB, a ketone body, acts as a satiety signal in rodents. Next, the changes in body weight and composition over the duration of LC ketogenic and MC non-ketogenic diets are shown in Table 2. Weight loss was found to be significantly greater with the LC diet than with the MC diet. Astrop et al. In 2004 suggested that weight loss is caused by the depletion of hepatic glycogen stores through carbohydrate restrictions. Without carbohydrates to maintain glycogen stores, the body burns them and dumps all the water they hold. So, 35% of the total weight loss might have been due to the water loss in ketogenic diets. Next, since the body burns its glycogen stores during caloric deficit, as mentioned earlier, the remainder of weight loss was accounted for by the loss of fat mass and some lean body mass. Nevertheless, Voltek et al. In 2002 revealed that carbohydrate diets favor the loss of fat and preservation of lean body mass better than other diets, a response partly mediated by the reduced plasma insulin.
Thus, we have learned that high-protein, low-carb diets considerably reduce hunger, food intake, and weight over a 65-day period compared to high-protein, medium-carb, non-ketogenic diets. This is all for our presentation. Remember, eat right to eat less.